Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Good morning, scavengers. Hope we're having a great day. We are going to come through here. And hello, Gina. I hope you and Tootsie are doing well today. Thanks for joining us today. Hello, Jackie and Sarah. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day over in California. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope the fires aren't too bad over there. I know it's been out of control. Kathy, hello. Thank you for coming in today. KJ, thank you for coming. I hope you're doing well. Hope the kids are fine. Punisher, hello, Punisher. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Michigan lady, hello. I hope y'all are having a great day up there in the north. Mary Brown, hello, Mary. Hope you're well today. Thank you for joining us today. Sandy, hello. Thank you for coming. Miss Betty Webb, hello, Betty. I hope you're well today. Thank you for joining us. Rhonda, hello, Rhonda. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Marie, hope y'all are well. Did the rain put some of y'all's fires out over there? Hope that it's getting a little better now. Sarah's Kitchen, hello. Thank you for joining us. Brittany's Brands, hello. Thank you guys all for joining us today. Hope y'all are having a great day. Jessica won't be here because she's with some family for a few days, which we talked about in our previous videos. But I started just a few minutes early. I wanted to come in and chat for a little bit about some of the things that I'm seeing in the online auction communities and address some of the questions people have asked me about running online auctions, as well as some of the complaints that I have heard from people about running their YouTube auctions. And there's a lot of things that I see a lot of people doing really well. And there's a lot of things that I see a lot of people struggling with. And I'm getting a lot of questions from people about how just to get started with YouTube auctions, people that have never done them before and maybe interested in trying them out. So I thought I would kind of give an overview of our YouTube auctions, some of the things that we've learned over the last year. We did our very first auction with T and Donatella over at Auctions for You in January of last year or this year. And we've done several auctions with them since then. We've done auctions with other people as well as doing auctions here on our own channel over the last year. So little bit of time, and we've learned a lot along the way. We still got a lot more that we're learning. So we're by no means, experts at these, but I just thought I would share some of our experiences and some of the things that we've learned about, what we've analyzed is to the successful auctions that we've had and the total flop auctions that we've had. And we've had some of both. I've had some auctions where nobody showed up. We didn't sell a single item, and we spent 3 or 4 hours of our time, just what we spent on YouTube, doing the auction and didn't make any money. And we've had auctions that we spent less time during the actual auction, but we spent a lot of time before and after the auction, and we did make some really good money. So I thought I would talk about some of the differences that we've analyzed and some of the things that we've figured out through analyzing how we do our auctions and how we do everything. So, hello, Tim. Thank you for coming in today. I hope you're feeling better. I know you said yesterday that you were not having as good of a day. Hello, Denise. Thank you for joining us. 23 people. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you everybody for coming in. But real quick, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button. Give us a like. That really helps our channel out. Or hit the thumbs down. That actually helps our channel out some. But preferably the thumbs up. Hello, Just Sandy and Donatella. There's the queen of auctions right there coming in. Coming to see what I have to say. A lot of what I've learned about auctions, I have learned from watching her auctions over the last year or so, a little over a year that I've been watching her. But, I've also been watching a lot of other auction channels, and I kind of cherry pick and watch. I see different people that do different things, and I try to pick out the things that I like about what different channels do, and then I test them in my own auctions and see how they work out for me. And I don't test it just in one auction. I'll test it in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 auctions, so that one, I can make sure that it's not me doing it wrong, and kind of get a good sample of how I like how things are going. So and I've got different things I've tested. I've tested free shipping versus charging shipping. I've tested sorting really high bids versus low bids. I've tested a lot of different things in how we do our auctions. I'm always testing new things and testing out different ideas myself as I'm learning and growing. Got a few more people coming in. Hello. Oh, it moved on me just as I clicked it. Hello, Never Too Old. Hello, hello. Hello, Froggy. Hi, hope you're doing well today. Thanks for coming in and joining us. So, I thought we would just chat about some of the things that we've experienced. Like I said, for those of you just joining me that didn't hear my very first intro, I've had a lot of complaints about different things from different people on doing auctions here on YouTube, as well as I've gotten a lot of questions from people on how we run our YouTube auctions and how to get started. So I thought today we would just talk about those kind of things. And I've broken it down in kind of 3 sections. You have your pre-auction, which is all the things that you do before your auction, which is, from my experience, what I found, 90% of the success or failure of my auctions is the pre-auction. It's not the actual auction itself. A little bit of it is the actual auction itself. That's the second area that we're going to talk about, is the actual auction and how we do things during the actual auction itself. And then the third area is after the auction and how you handle your business after the auction happens. Those 3 things, really, those 3 areas are what we're going to cover a little bit of today. I'm not going to go super in depth. I don't want to stay on too long because Robin does have a premiere in about an hour. So I want to kind of keep this short. Not going to stay on and chat for 2 or 3 hours this time like we have in some of our past lives. I may do a random chit chat live later tonight. As you can notice, the StreamYard logo up here in the corner has disappeared because we finally upgraded to the paid version of StreamYard this week as well. So we did finally break down. I was running out of StreamYard hours, so I finally had to pull the trigger and go ahead and upgrade to the paid version. And I'm liking it. There's some good stuff. In fact, I'm using a few of the features today already. I spent a little bit of time playing with it yesterday, trying to figure out how everything works, because that's how I do it. I just get in there and start pushing buttons and figuring out what does what. So got some cool things going on there. If you look up at the banner, you will notice that I have a brand new banner up on the top, as well as a new icon for my little chat emoji, or my chat icon. Those were made. I got a guy that I hired through Fiverr to do my logo for me and did a revamp on my logo. So excited about that. I really like how the new logo turned out. I think it looks a lot more professional than my little handmade one that I did. And hello, Rhonda. I already said hello again. Oh, it is a little bit small. Yeah. Well, the one on my icon there, I'm still working on them a little bit. So I've got to get my images sized right and get it to where you can see what needs to be seen. So, but overall, I was happy with the design layout. It's just some of the layout issues that I'm still working on. So you're missing my tiara. Well, you will. Just a little hint. You will get to see my tiara here in just a little bit. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is our pre-auction. Whenever we go to do an auction here on YouTube, one of the things that I have found is I've done some auctions this way and I haven't done it this way. When I do them this way, they are much better, in my experience. And it's something that we're going back into doing with our own auctions. Is one of the things we do is we set up all of our auction lots. And I spend a lot of time. I spend more time sometimes just putting together my auction than actually doing the auction. Um, and Donna can attest to that. We spend hours and hours sorting through stuff, making sure that we're bringing quality items to our auction. And that's one of those keys that I see some people struggling with, is the quality of stuff you're bringing to the auctions. And what kind of stuff are you bringing to your auctions, and how are you going to sell them? Are you going to lot things up? And you can run your own business how you want to. And, I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their business. I'm just speaking from my own experience. I can't make a living running these YouTube auctions selling $1 and $2 items at a time. I know a lot of auctions do, and they're doing their auctions and they're doing their own thing, and that's great if that's how you want to run your auctions. But I have personally found that most of the time, if I put something up for $1, it's probably going to sell for $1 or $2. And I just can't make a living. I would have to be auctioning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to sell enough items at $1 or $2 at a time to be able to pay my bills. I have bills that got to be paid. That's why I do all this stuff. I'm not doing it just for fun. Even though I have fun doing it, I'm not doing it just for fun. I got to pay my bills. So, I'm looking at trying to get, I'm working on it, and I still haven't completely gotten there yet, but I'm trying to get it to where most of the stuff we're bringing to auction is $10 or more price points. And of course we're including shipping in our auction prices. So just because I'm asking $10 doesn't mean I made $10. We're making a little bit less than that. I did find some things that we're going to talk about later that are helping with that side of the business a lot as well. But pre-auction, not only do I set up my lot, so I'm setting up all of my bins. I've got totes and little tubs with auction lots. And one of the things that we have found is I'm doing much better on auctions with smaller lots that I can fit into these smaller boxes, which we are going to talk about later on the post side, on the after auction side. But also, it's also easier to sell it, to show it, and to be able to auction it, especially with the way my setup is. And I'm working on changing some things with my setup as I finish cleaning up my room and work on getting myself more organized. I'm going to be changing my auction setup some. But one of the things that I found is I've set those up. And then one of the things I do is I create a notepad document on my computer. And you can do it on a regular notepad or on a document on the computer, but I'll share with you as I go through here why I do it on the computer. But I type up my lot number, a brief description of the lot, and what my starting bid is. Now, the reason why I do that on my computer is two reasons. When I get into the actual auction, I can just copy and paste that information out of that notepad into the chat, so that when we're starting that lot, we've got the information right there, and it makes it a lot more streamlined to run your lots very quickly. But the other part of that is I can take that entire document and I can copy it and paste it into the description of my video, so that whenever we're running the auction, people can click on that description and see what's coming up for sale and see if there's anything that they're interested in sticking around for. Now, for me, I have had actually people stick around through an auction because they saw something coming up that they were interested in. And then it also kind of gets the people that aren't interested in any of those items, and they may decide to go off somewhere else because they can already see, hey, what you have today is not in my boat. And, as much as I love everybody, and if you want to stay and chat and have a good time, that's great. But at the same time, the chat is a great part of the auction, and we're going to talk about that when we're running the auction section. But I really want more people that are interested in what I'm selling than people that are not there to buy. Because when I'm doing a live stream, we're here to chat and have a great time. But when I'm running an auction, we are chatting. We're having a great time. We're not as super serious as we used to be. I'm loosening up and being a little bit more fun. If anybody went to Cha Cha's auction, you might have seen that a little bit this weekend. But we are also here to sell, and we want people here that want to buy what we have to sell. So why aren't you doing that? And then the other thing that I see a lot of people not doing pre-auction, and this is one of the big ones, is what are you doing before your auction to promote your auction, especially if you're a smaller channel. We're growing and we're getting pretty decent size here, but we're not a big channel yet. And we don't bring in 100, 200, 300 people into an auction. We've got to get out there and get the word out to people about the fact that we're having an auction and what kind of stuff we have coming up in the auction. And I see a lot of people not doing that. I see a lot of people complaining that nobody came to their auction, but they didn't do anything to tell people they were having an auction. So you've got to get out there. You've got to promote it on all your social media. You've got to get out there. And I've spent sometimes 3 or 4 days hitting every live stream that I can. This is why I jump on the live streams when I can, because I'm getting the word out about my auctions and I'm getting the word out about what I'm doing. We did the big collaboration last week with Cha Cha, and I got on every live stream for like a week and a half that I could get on to talk about the collaboration and to talk about what we were doing and, what kind of items we were bringing and who all was participating. And the reason I did that was because it brought a lot of people that wouldn't have known about the auction any other way into the auction. And those were people that some of them were just there to chat, but some of them were there to bid and were buying stuff. So you've got to get out there, you've got to promote, and you've got to share what you're doing with other people. I see so many people that are complaining about not getting anybody into their auction. And I've seen bigger channels that have double or triple the following I have, that do an auction and have like 10 people show up because they didn't tell anybody they were doing an auction. Their whole telling people was they hit live and the notification went out to their subscribers. Maybe they tweeted it out or posted it in their own Facebook group. If you guys follow the same groups I'm in, you will know whenever I'm doing a live stream, whenever I'm doing an auction, about an hour and a half before my auction or before my live stream, I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm all over the place sharing the video, sharing the stream on all these different groups and all the different channels that I'm in. And I'm doing that on purpose. And I'm out there trying to get the word out and let people know about what we're doing. I've had a lot of people that have found my channel from doing that. They're now subscribers. They now get those notifications, but they didn't when I first did it, when they first saw me. And sometimes you have to do that 3 or 4 times before somebody will say, well, you know what? I keep seeing this guy's stuff show up. Let me click on it and see what it is. Hello, Lobster. How are you doing today? We're talking about YouTube auctions today specifically. But you got to get out there and promote your auction, and don't just get out there and say you're doing an auction. One of the things that we tested a few weeks ago is doing a very niche focused auction. And there's some things that I learned from that auction. Post-mortem, looking at it, there were some things that went really, really well with how we did that auction. And there were some things that went really, really bad because of mistakes I made that I figured out. So one of the things you want to do is you want to do some more niche specific auctions. You want to get out there, promote it, find people that are interested in that particular niche. Like, for example, the one we did was sports cards. We did a sports cards auction. I had a whole bunch of sports cards. We did a whole auction that's all we sold that day was sports cards. So I went to groups that I knew specifically were people that had and collected sports cards. Now, my thing with that is I didn't do it early enough, and that was part of my fault. I should have started doing that promotion probably 3 or 4 days before the auction instead of a day before the auction. And because of that, that is actually now one of the most viewed videos on my channel, but most of those views came after the auction, not during the actual auction. So it worked in that I got a lot of traffic by doing those niche specific keywords and being able to do that niche specific promotion. But it didn't work in that most of those people came after the fact and after the auction was over. So you've got to get out ahead of time and get the word out about it early enough. But at the same time, you want to do some of those niche specific things that are going to attract a specific group of people. And then, a lot of us are resellers, and we're big into the reselling community, and I get that. But don't pigeonhole yourself in your promotion to just the reseller community. For example, we just did the craft auction and the craft supplies, and I did a lot of promotion within the reseller community because we did have some reseller lots we were selling, but I also did some promotion outside of the reselling community, going to other crafting channels, going to other crafting groups and crafting people, and going offline to crafting groups in my personal community and letting them know about the auction we were doing. Because of that, we brought some people into the YouTube auction community that didn't even know we ran auctions on YouTube. So you've got to think outside of just this tight group of people, and don't just promote the auctions to the reselling community, because a lot of them may already know about it and subscribe to you, but get outside and go and check it out. So the biggest things are, one, how you set up your auction, do your lists, and put that stuff in your description prior to the auction so that people can see what you've got going up for sale, and get out there and promote your auction. Those are the key things on pre-auction that we have learned a lot about. There's a lot of other things, but I kind of want to move on. Then the next part is actually running your auction. So when you come on your live, when you come on your auction, I watched Donna's video yesterday. If you didn't see Donatella's premiere video yesterday, y'all need to go to Donatella Bodolino's channel and check out her premiere of her video yesterday, because she showed her very first YouTube auction, and it made me feel much better about my very first auctions, because I was a lot like her. I was very serious. I didn't talk a whole lot. It was mostly business, and it was just getting in there, get the job done, and get off. And it went okay, but it didn't do great. I did make some sales, but I also sold some stuff for a lot less than I should have. Because I didn't have a whole lot of people. I didn't promote it very much. I didn't get a whole lot of people in. I was very strict and serious and stuff. Now, those of you that been around know I'm not quite as serious as I used to be. At least sometimes.
Elizabeth says, no, that's not odd.
Maybe if we didn't have that beard and mustache going on here. 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah, you have to show this lot like a princess. No, I want to see pinkies out. There you go.
Oh.
So we have a lot of ladies' makeup, so it's time for a makeover.
Ooh.
Some of this is brand new. Some of it is used. I know that there's ways y'all can sanitize it if it's used. Gonna dance like Gary. No, I'm not dancing like Gary was last night. I'm not as like Gary was.
Man.
So there's just a little clip of our auction that we did with Cha-Cha the other night. We had a lot of fun that night. And it was a great time. But I've learned how to loosen up. I'm having a little bit of more fun. And you've got to do that. You're going to do that. One, it's going to engage the chat more. It's going to engage the people. The other thing is, I have found these auctions are a lot easier if there's at least 1 or 2 other people, even if they're not selling. If you're the only one selling, my auctions are a lot more engaging and better. And I have somebody, to kind of work off of as far as my own humor and stuff. If there's somebody else in the room in the background, somebody that we could talk to that's interacting directly with us instead of having to wait for the chat to catch up. So those kind of interactions and those things I have found improve your auctions. So if you're doing auctions by yourself, you might consider, when you're doing your auctions, bringing somebody else on, even just if they're in the background, helping to call, helping to drop the links and drop the information into the chat, and doing that kind of stuff so you can focus on showing your items. Another thing that I've seen during the auctions is I've seen a lot of people going to one of two ends, and I've done both of these ends by myself. So I know how well it works, and usually it doesn't. One is going way too low on your prices and underestimating what it's going to cost you to ship the items if you're doing free shipping, and way underestimating the value of the items. You want to go as low as you can, but you need to really decide before you begin your auction, before you set your lots. And I do this during the pre-auction phase, not during the actual auction itself. Decide on what the least amount I'm willing to take in my pocket for this item is. And then if you're doing free shipping, plus calculate in what your shipping cost is going to be before you set your starting bid. So if I put an item up for sale and I say the starting bid on this is $10, I'm willing to take $10 for that item. And then I'm hoping I get more than that. I usually have an idea of what I think the lot will go for. And I'm hoping to get that. But if I don't get those bids, if I only get that one bid, I'm willing to sell it. Now, some people do reserve pricing where they start a low bid and they have a number that they've set, and they don't have to tell anybody what that reserve is. But if your bidding gets to that reserve, then it'll sell. And if it doesn't, then you're just going to pass it and hold it off for another day. I personally don't do reserve pricing on my bids. I'm just going to set the starting bid at what the least amount I'm willing to take for it is. And that's where I'm going to start the bidding. And if nobody bids, then nobody bids. But you want to figure out the least amount you're willing to take for that item. That's where you want to start your bidding. Some people I've seen going too low and they're losing money. And I've seen people go way too high. They're setting it almost at a retail price to start their bidding. And it's not going to you're going to get more bidders if you start it low than you will if you get it high. So you don't want to go to either extreme. You want to find a happy medium. Be somewhere where you can make some money. Like I do some stuff that people are like, I can't believe you're asking that much. One, you got to realize I'm doing wholesale pricing. I am, I'm more into when I'm doing an auction, I want to get rid of bulks of stuff. So I'm selling off stuff in quantities for other resellers or for people that, want the quantities of stuff. And I'm just trying to move stuff out. And a lot of it's because I'm sourcing through buying storage units. So our margins are different. If you think about it, if you go through just a very small unit, I just went through a 5x10 unit. I probably got almost 1,000 items. If I make $1 a piece on those items, then I'm probably going to make about $1,000. I'm probably not going to make $1 a piece on every single item in the unit. But I sell stuff based on my own pricing on what I've got. And so let the product speak for itself. That's exactly right, Gary. You have to have really good products. And then, let it speak for itself and let it sell itself. Now, if you want to do $1 auctions and do individual pieces, you can. But again, I can't sell enough $1 items to make a living personally, not in a one at a time kind of situation like we are here on our YouTube auction. But one of the things that I have found is if I lot stuff up together, I may take a bunch of those $1 items and lot them up. And now I've got if I get 10 or 15 items, and then now I've got a $10 lot that I can put up for sale that are items that I would normally individually start them at a $1 bid. And hopefully they get up to like $5 a piece. Then I might lot those 10 items up and put them up on a $10 bid. And trying to group items together. So that way you can raise your starting price. It's actually usually a little bit cheaper to ship them in groups than it is to ship them, and still trying to do smaller groups, which we're going to get to here in just a few minutes. So those are just a few of the things that we do during the auction. The other thing is trying to be more engagement. Like I said, I'm trying to loosen up more myself and not be as serious and not as Part of that was nerves as I was getting started and, nervous about how people are going to react. And then also you might feel a little bit of frustration when you get a lot of passes at your auction, but you can't show it. You've got to be willing to just shrug it off and let it go and realize when I get a pass, I'm like, okay, nobody here's interested. Now, when I did my first auctions and you could see it, you could hear it in my voice, you could see it in my body language, I would get upset when people would pass on a lot. Especially if I thought it was a really good lot and worth a lot more than what I was asking for. I don't have the next one scheduled yet, Denise. I'm working on that myself right now. Part of it's I'm trying to get caught up with everything last week when Jessica was in the hospital. So now I'm playing catch up the first few days this week. I'm trying to do one this weekend, but I'm not sure when exactly it's going to be. As soon as I know, I will be getting the word out. So, we're trying to be more engaging, but we're trying to, where was I saying? I got myself distracted. I was in the middle of something. It was good too. But when you're doing these auctions, you want to get more people engaged. So you got to be involved in the chat, but don't get upset when stuff doesn't sell. I'll take stuff that doesn't sell and I'll bring it back to another auction. And I've had stuff that went no sale that I brought it back to an auction 3, 4, 5 days later, and it sold, and the person that bought it at a much higher price was at that first auction and never bid on it. And they could have had it for just a single bid instead of having to go through a bidding war, because the second time I put it up, there was 3 or 4 people interested. So you don't worry about it if you don't get those bids. Just bring it back and come back at another. Yeah, I figured out where I was at, Rhonda. Thank you. So don't worry about passes. Passes just means we'll bring it back another day. It's not a big deal. And I've had auctions. I'll tell you, especially in my early days when I only had 10 people at an auction, 5 to 10 people in my early auctions, I would have auctions where we passed almost every single lot. I might have been lucky. I had one auction. I made $5. I was on for 3 hours and I made $5 during that auction. That was after shipping, but still, I made a whole $5 for 3 hours of my time. And that's going to happen. That's part of the building and the growing process. You're going to go through those small auctions. You're going to go through those low paying auctions where you don't sell a whole lot of items. You don't make a whole lot of money. It's okay. Just realize that if you can sell something online, you can sell anything online. It's just going to take you time to learn how to do it. Be willing to invest some time into your own growth. One of the things that I found as part of why I get out there and I'm on everybody's channels. And if you see me, y'all see me a lot on other auction channels. Why? Because they have auction buyers and I want auction buyers to find my channel and subscribe to my channel. So that's one of the things that you want to do. You want to get out there. You want to promote your auction. You want to, don't be just going out and just promoting your auction though. You want to get out there, engage people, have a good time, make friends with people. A lot of y'all here are because I've met y'all on other people's channels. And that's how I do it. That's how I built my whole channel. And that's how I built my business. Most of the stuff I sell, a lot of the stuff, I've had a lot of my eBay sales that have been people finding stuff that I showed off on a YouTube video, going to eBay and buying the stuff that I was showing off. A lot of my auctions, of course, are people that are coming to me from other YouTube channels. So we've got to make sure that we're bringing people in, keeping them engaged, entertaining people. We're here to, sell stuff, but we're also here to kind of entertain people. And sometimes we have to make ourselves look like
Elizabeth says, no, that's not odd.
We have to be willing to, make ourselves look odd, as Cha-Cha said, to get a little bit of laughter. You get people laughing, you get people having a good time, and then they're going to be more engaged in what you're doing. So have some fun with it, and don't get upset when things don't go your way. Now, after the auction, once we get past our auctions, then things get really down to business. And that's one of the things like I'm working on right now. You've got to make sure, well, decide beforehand. A lot of different people run their auctions differently. I personally prefer invoicing everybody. And the reason why is because I like those records for my tax receipts and for my tax person. And I like those having those records because I always print out those invoices myself. And then I can keep track of who's paid and who hasn't a lot easier. Plus PayPal doing, once I do the invoices, I have their shipping information and everything saved. So the next time they buy from me, they don't have to send it to me because I've already got it on file. And the same way with Pirate Ship. One of the things that I do recommend, I just recently been learning about, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Amber. Because Amber did a video recently. I have been buying from auctions for a while, and I've seen everybody's packages coming wrapped in poly bags and wrapped in trash bags, and I didn't understand why they did all that. Well, guess what? I finally found out why they did that, and it saves you a lot of money on shipping charges. It's called bag in a box, and if you don't know what bag in a box is, go check out Amber's video right here. I just dropped it in the chat on Pirate Ship and bag in a box shipping. She did a really great job on that video, so I didn't have to make it myself. But she goes into the details. It saves you a ton of money on your shipping to do this process that she talks about. I've started using it myself. That's part of why I'm doing smaller lots and smaller boxes too, because I can do the box in a bag. Yes, box in a bag, box in a bag. So I've been doing a lot of box in a bags recently, and I tell you what, it's reduced a lot of my shipping charges. Hey, I'm a newbie into this. I didn't know any better. Now I do, and now I'm doing it all the time. A lot of y'all know this already, but there's people that are probably going to be watching this. A lot of people that are new coming in that are we are showing kind of the basics and the fundamentals of how to do all this. So, but the bag in a box or box in a bag, I'm sorry, is a great way to ship your stuff. It reduces your shipping cost tremendously, and that's part of why we're doing smaller lots now, is to compensate for that. Then also, it's just getting yourself into an organized flow. I do all of my packing, pack everything up, and then I do all of my shipping labels, and get everything sent out. And I'm doing them in batches right now. Like I ran out, I have all my auction lots from last week. I've got all but 2 of them. I've still got to go get a box for a couple of them that were a little bit different sizes than what I had. But everything but those 2 is all packed up. But I ran out of shipping labels, so I have to go get some more shipping labels and finish printing out. About half of my packages got mailed out today, and the other half I've got to finish shipping tomorrow, because after I get done here, I'm going to go buy some shipping labels. But make sure that you try to get your supplies on hand. I'm finding I like to buy my shipping supplies on eBay and Amazon when I can, because I can get them in bulk for a whole lot cheaper. But when I run out, I have to run to Walmart or the Office Depot or someplace local to get some, so I can get by in a pinch. And then utilize those free boxes. If you're doing priority mail, use the free shipping boxes from the USPS, because that saves you a ton of money. Or you can just be like the girls and go dumpster diving for shipping supplies. That works too. And we were going to do some of that this week, and then it started raining. So, pretty girls. Hello, Danny Mae. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining us today. So those are just some of the key things that we like to do. for our auctions and some of the things that we have learned from making mistakes ourselves, from watching other people's auctions, some of the key things that help our auctions to improve. So if anybody has any questions that y'all want to ask in the chat or anything else, or we can just, chit chat for a few minutes. We don't want to stay on too much longer because in about 15 minutes, because She Shed Robin has her Real Funny specials coming out. And of course, we all want to go watch her funnies. Here is her link for her video. It premieres in about 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off before then. Are you ready for dinner? Yes, I am. I am hungry. And I don't have anybody at home to cook for me, so I have to do it myself. Danny May. Hope you're doing fantastic, Danny May. Thank you so much for joining us. Gary. Hello, Gary. Hope y'all are having fun today. Because there's not that many wrenches on my channel. I have had some issues. That's another thing I've been testing, and I've seen different channels have different opinions on this, okay? And I get that. But I have seen some abusive powers of the wrenches from certain people, and I'm not saying anybody that's here right now is one of the ones doing it, but because of that, I am not freely giving out wrenches to just everybody that comes to my channel, because I don't want people getting blocked and banned that shouldn't, just because somebody else either doesn't like them or doesn't know who they are. And so I drilled down my wrenches specifically to people that generally moderate on my chat and help me drop links. You weren't supposed to lose yours, Betty. Because you were one of my first wrenches. You weren't supposed to lose yours when I did my flush earlier. But yeah, I've tested it both ways. And I had a whole bunch of wrenches. I had to go through my block list earlier and clean a bunch of people out that weren't supposed to be in there, because during my previous live streams, evidently some people got blocked on my channel by I don't know who, because I'm not sure if there's a way to figure out who blocked somebody and put them on my block list. But okay. I don't worry about it. I have some channels I have wrenches on, some channels I don't. I've never once asked anybody for a wrench. If they give it to me, then I try to help them with moderating the chat. I look at having a wrench as a responsibility, not an entitlement. And that's just my personal opinion. And I try to, when I have a wrench, I try to help out with dropping links and moderating the chat and doing the things that wrenches are supposed to do, because that's what it's for. It is there as a, somebody to help the content creators to moderate their chat, because it's hard for us to moderate the chat while we're doing lives and stuff. Yeah, YouTube does wrench purges as well. They do a lot of purges. I've seen people lose their wrenches randomly for some reason. I don't know why. And then I've seen some people that never lose a wrench. I don't know. And I've seen people that were wrenched and still lost their, they're wrenched. They're even paying members on a channel, and somehow they still got unsubscribed from that channel during one of the subscriber purges. So I don't know how their algorithm figures all that out. That's exactly right, Tina. That's what I do. I if somebody chooses to give me a wrench, I'll help drop links whenever they need them, and I will whack the trolls when they need them. But some people, unfortunately, think that blocking and timing people out and banning people is a game, and I don't want that game on my channel. So because of that, and because I have had to purge my own block list more than once now from people having wrenches, I have limited the number of wrenches I have on my channel, and very select people have those wrenches right now. And I am adding some people back onto the wrench list, but I'm still keeping a limit on how many people have wrenches on my channel and people that I know. So, and I know some people will be upset about it. Some people won't. I'm sorry. It's not personal. It is what it is. It's a decision that I had to make because I have to look at my channel as a whole, not just one person's feelings. So, you love trolls. Yes, Lobster, you love the trolls. Oh no, Kim, I hope your foot's okay. I hope it didn't hurt too much. And so, yep, I'm about to have to go too. Like I said, I dropped the link a few minutes ago. I'll drop it again. Robin is starting in about 10 minutes. Her next edition of the funnies, and I don't personally want to miss it. So we're gonna go over to her channel. Everybody wants to join us. Y'all can join us over at Because She Shed. I just dropped the link in the chat. Hello, Miss T. I hope you're doing well. Right now, I've been doing more auctions on other people's channels. Part of that's because I understand the growth cycle and I'm trying to grow my channel to a point where I can get more than 10 or 15 people in an auction. I am about to start running some more auctions on my channel. I just haven't done one in a little while myself. I've done some. We had a really great turnout for the collaboration auction we did. And I learned a lot through that whole collaboration, not only from my own experience that I had here, but also with some of the other channels that I've talked to through the collaboration. So, but I was actually about to go. I'm about to head over to Robin's. So anybody that wants to join us, y'all join us over at Robin's for her next edition of the Funnies. Thank you all for joining us, and y'all have a great time. We will be back, and as soon as I schedule my next auction, I will be letting y'all know. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next time.